I'll be talking to you about two titles. First one being Flashpoint, and the next one being Fear Itself. Now, I put in the versus thing. Both are good in my opinion. I like both of them, especially Flashpoint because I'm interested to see what happens in September. But that's hearsay. Anyway, Flashpoint is basically Reverse Flash has gone back in time and changed the DCU time stream completely. And what that means is it's a brand new world where Wonder Woman is in war with Aquaman. Thomas Wayne is the survivor, not Bruce Wayne. His wife and child Bruce died, and then he decided to take up the mantle of the Bat. And to me, that's the most interesting character out of the whole thing. In basically issue 2, Barry Allen confronts Thomas Wayne because he goes to the mansion and tries to find out what's going on. Because Barry Allen awoke in this new, completely different universe, and he realizes this is the status quo, and he's trying to get things back to where they were. Now, the only problem I had with this was that Thomas Wayne is a different type of Batman where he kills the villains, and that's the biggest change. And he's a little bit more, he's like the Frank Miller's Dark Knight, but a little bit more badass. So when Barry Allen was explaining all what was going on, like he has this reverse flash and he went back, he changed, Bruce Wayne's still alive and he's the Batman. It just would seem weird that Thomas Wayne would swallow that. You know what I mean? He seemed like a character who was kind of like, he'll believe whatever his eyes can see. He's not into that existential time theory, parallel universe kind of dude. Mind you, I only had two issues to see that kind of character, so I don't know the full extent of the character of Thomas Wayne. The little miniseries that Brian Azzarello and the guy who drew 100 Bullets, I don't know the name off the top of my head. It's amazing. I read the first issue. I think it's probably hands down. It's a lot better than Flashpoint. Not to say Flashpoint is bad. It's gritty. It's dark. It's mysterious. It's only 5 issues. I like big events that are just tied up neatly in 5 issues. And plus what's going to happen afterwards, we got a brand new spanking DCU. There's a lot of things that I don't like about it. One being that they're going to make Superman single again, and it just seems that I understand why they did it for Spider-Man, but Superman is a parental figure. He is the father of all superheroes. So it just seems more natural that he's married. He's a little bit more stable. And the rest of them, I mean, there's a lot of issues that I'm really interested in reading. For example, the new JLA written by Jeff Johns and Jim Lee, which I always thought Jeff Johns should have always written the JLA because I felt like in DC, what was going on in their universe was being told in the Flash or Green Lantern books. And when you read the JLA, it's just stories that really have no impact on the DCU. Now, your main team book should be the focal point of the DC universe. That's how I feel. I could be wrong, whatever. But I'm excited to see Jeff Johns finally take on the JLA. I know he did Avengers way back in Marvel, and I like that work a lot. So it's gonna be cool to see him play with the Big Seven, except that the big Martian Manhunter is replaced by Cyborg. I would have preferred to see Martian Manhunter like the elite DCU superheroes on the JLA. I liked it when Grant Morrison did it. Kind of interested to see if what Jeff Johns is going to do and Jim Lee. I'm looking like a great book. The rest of the books, I mean, I'm looking at these costumes. I'm looking at these new status changes. It really feels like the 90s. I swear to God, every person's costume, it's like, let's make it high-tech and futuristic. And they did that in the 90s with Daredevil. That was, ugh. Anyway, I've got my doubts, but there's a couple of books that I'm very interested in. Brian Azzarello is going to be writing Wonder Woman. Grant Morrison on Action Comics. That's going to be fantastic. There's a lot of books out there, like Gail Simone on Firestorm. I'm a huge fan of Gail Simone. I'm very sad to see that Secret Six is gone. What can you do? Anyway, let's move on to Fear Itself. Fear Itself is really good. It's got a great combination of drama versus action. And that seemed to be the biggest problem when Bendis was doing the main event books at Marvel. They seemed to drag on with endless fucking dialogue, and like especially with House of M. I think Bendis learned a lot after he wrote House of M to like when it's a big event book, you got to have huge stuff happening in the first issue, and you got to keep that momentum up. I felt he did that in Secret Invasion for the first issue. I read it, I was blown away, but then the second and the third issue seemed to kind of not have the same oomph the first issue did. We're 3 issues into this book. The first issue was basically a dramatic issue. Sin gets the hammer, the bad hammer of Asgard. There's 7 bad hammers by this other Allfather, who's basically the opposite of Odin. Is just as powerful, from what I understand so far. And there was this huge family breaking up between Thor and Odin. I liked it. It sucked me in. I was interested. The second issue, the 7 hammers are given out to the people across the Marvel U. Not as good as the first issue, but still quite enjoyable. And the third issue, finally, that's when the real action starts going on. Captain America takes on Sin, and spoiler, he doesn't come out of there pretty good. See Steve Rogers kind of like understanding that he doesn't want to be the guy commanding everything. He wants to be on the field, and we're gonna have that kind of conflict come out. I'm pretty sure after this, Nick Fury is going to be back in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Stephen Rogers is going to take up the mantle of Captain America again. What I do not like is the Avengers tie-in. Bendis is writing this Avengers tie-in, and the way he's doing it is like they're talking about it like it was after the fact. And I hate it when they do that, because then I could just look through the pages and like, okay, he survives. They're not really spoiling anything per se, but in a way they are. And I just, just tell a story when I cannot stand, even in New Avengers, the last arc, where they kind of go from present to past. I didn't care about the past, because I was just like, they could have wrapped that, they could have put in one panel with one guy explaining exactly what happened in the past, and they could have just focused on what was happening on the present, because I'm much more interested to see the consequences after the fact. I don't need to know how the past ties into this present story, because it's not that exciting. I mean, there was a cool... Anyway, I don't really want to get into that. That's something else completely. That's just my philosophy on storytelling. I could be wrong. And just sometimes, when it is done, I do enjoy it, but it has to be really well done for me. And in this Avengers tie-in with Fear itself, I hate it, because I know a couple of people are going to survive the fact, and it ruins the story for me. Don't smoke, and stay frosty.